It would have to be the greatest theme song of all time, because that is. So
I know. It also helps that it's short. It's like a minute and
yeah.
30 seconds. It's just 90 seconds of rock and roll, as it were. All right, here we go. Everything's streaming except for Twitch. That's fine. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio here on a Tuesday, but it couldn't be a finer day to talk about professional wrestling and everything that's happening in the world of professional wrestling, because a lot is happening. I can assure you that much. I am host Ryan Neitzey. With me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend, the man coming back from vacation, or as much of a vacation he got, as he told me earlier, Scotty Edwards. Scotty, how are you doing, bud?
I'm not great, but I'm here. But I'm here.
You are here, and I appreciate that, and our listeners sure do as well.
I guess that's what matters, maybe for some. What was I gonna say?
You had a whole bit plan, I believe.
I did have a bit plan. That was the problem. But yeah, I'm back. We're back. And yes, I did decide to pick the vacation where everything happened. I understand that, but what? We're only recording on a 2-day delay. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
I'm excited. A lot of good stuff happened this week. A lot of stuff happened literally like yesterday. So let's just get into it, because I have a lot of thoughts that I've held jumbled up in my head.
Yes.
That I would like to get out into the open, even if I'm not feeling 100%.
Do you want to tell people what you currently have or what you believe you have?
Nope, they can figure it out themselves.
All right. He
I
has.
I think that hinted enough.
He's got tuberculosis.
I do not have tuberculosis.
Sorry, I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 a lot, so tuberculosis is on my mind.
Yeah, I would prefer not to have tuberculosis.
That's fair.
Of course, the biggest news we're talking about is that Great O'Khan is teaming with the Great Muda. All right, see you, everybody.
With don't forget the Great Booker of Noah, Nosawa Rongai.
Nosawa, of course, yes.
You can't forget that. It's gonna be
the
team with the greats. And I don't know who they're going to face. I don't think that's announced yet. But yeah, no, a lot of good news, a lot of big week. Yes, Scotty was gone this weekend, but that's fine. I think after today, I was thinking about this morning, Scotty. I think after today, we'll be back on that Sunday schedule. No, I don't have anything upcoming that will take away that. I eventually have a wedding, but that's on a Friday and a Saturday, so I'll be good to go on Sunday. So yeah, I think this weird sort of August time of vacation for you and I think it's going to come to a close, and now we'll get back to our Sunday schedule, so everyone can enjoy.
I may have to ruin people's dreams that in 2 Sundays it just might not have to be at 9 a.m. I just may need to kick it back an hour, but
when those dreams die, the nightmares come out, and I pull up a glass of wine from my desk.
Cody Rhodes coming back?
The night, yeah. If it's nighttime, Scotty, that means the nightmares.
That's the day of All Out, actually.
Ooh, are you saying we record during All Out?
No. Couldn't be saying that less if I tried.
Well, we got a big show for everybody here today. Lots of stuff to talk about. Stardom X Stardom. We're going to review that show that happened. Of course, the 5 stars
big
happening.
Show. Sorry.
We're on the G1 Climax Finals, semifinals, and the finals of course. And then some big drama coming out of AEW. Of course, we'll talk about the drama. But of course, like always, we start off with the news, and let's start off with the most relevant news. I guess would be the talking point there. The news that happened literally, I don't know, 11 hours ago. And that was one Johnny Gargano, Mr. Johnny Wrestling himself, returning to WWE, but not to NXT, but to the main roster, showing up at the end of Monday Night Raw, Mr. Johnny Gargano is back and maybe better than ever. I mean, not he took 9 months off, so he's back better than ever, ready to rumble, I guess, in WWE. So, Scotty, what do you think and how do you feel about the return of Jonathan Gargano?
I was very excited. I was actually doing another recording while it happened, and I was like, "Wow, I would have liked to see that for once," but it's okay. I'm excited because I don't think it was really a mystery as to where he'd end up once
You're telling me the
the
"What's Next" panel that he did was not a good panel to
well,
have?
I mean, once Triple H got into power, we weren't really here to question anymore.
Hmm.
It was just a matter of when. They did really good at keeping it secret, so none of it was spoiled. It actually surprised everyone. And I'm happy to see him back because I enjoy Johnny Gargano, and I think he should be great. And who would have thought Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa both on Monday Night Raw?
Oh yeah, both made it on Monday Night Raw. I am fascinated to see what he will eventually be doing on Monday Night Raw.
He'll be
Uh
feuding with Austin Theory, of course.
oh, yeah, it's actually not a bad idea. Probably.
Well, they did it at the end of his segment.
Oh, you're right. I didn't see the end of the segment. I just saw the entrance and a little bit of the
Oh
promo.
well, Theory came out and they're like, "Hey, you can be my you can be my background guy now because you're the rookie and I'm not." Ha 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 ha!
Got
And
him.
then Johnny Gargano kicked him.
Got him. Hashtag got him. They're gonna put the
Hash
briefcase. They're gonna put the briefcase on him, aren't they?
Johnny Gargano.
Yeah. Why not? Who
I
cares?
I mean, that would be hilarious.
Johnny Gargano
Seriously.
versus Roman Reigns. Let's do it. Clash of the Castle.
Uh,
Why not? I think it's interesting. I don't necessarily what he'd be doing. I saw backstage promo where he said that he's interested in doing like everything pretty much because he's like, I want to do the IC title, I want to do the US title, I want to be the WWE champion, I want to wrestle at WrestleMania. That's you can only do that by being in WWE. And these are all true points, Johnny. But I don't know. I mean, what is his ceiling? I mean, now that Triple H is involved, what do you think Johnny's ceiling is in WWE?
Let me hit you with that Triple H. I think his ceiling is probably world champion.
Really?
I
Over Roman, over Drew, over
listen. There was a guy, and people are gonna be pissed that I make this comparison. But there was this guy, he's kind of short, he got the fans behind him, people loved him, he was really good at wrestling. His name was Daniel Bryan. It worked out pretty well for him. I don't know if people remember that. And listen, we've made it to a point where Johnny Gargano walks in, he's now one of the best wrestlers on the roster. And maybe 2 years ago when the roster was filled with all the indie talent that people love and pretty much half of AEW's roster now, maybe it was a different conversation. But if you look at the landscape, the only other person that I can see being a main event babyface underdog would be a Sami Zayn back to the NXT self. Otherwise, that is Johnny Gargano's role to be had. And him challenging for one of those titles, maybe he doesn't win, but him challenging against someone like Roman Reigns with the crowd behind him,
yeah.
it could work. It could work. I think that's his ceiling. I think he can make it there. It's just a matter of when. There's a reason they had him say it in the promo on TV that he wants the WWE Championship. Will he get it? I don't know. I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
But at least the idea of building to the match makes me think that it's at least possible. And if the fans want it, I think Triple H would give it to him.
I totally agree. I mean, he's only 35 years old, so I guess quote unquote not a lot of time left in his career.
I guess, but
I guess
the entire Noah roster is two times his age, so it's okay.
Good point. The average of the Noah roster is like 2 his age, and that's also, I guess, that also leaves the opportunity for Candice LeRae to come back in WWE as well. So we'll see the outcome of her decision as well.
I would be shocked if she didn't.
I would as well.
Unless she doesn't want to wrestle again. That's also possible.
That's the only other outside thing there. There was also news that came out, I guess, this morning. Technically, there was a press conference between Stardom and New Japan, talking about the historic X Over show that will be happening this November. They got some 3 matches announced. They're all mixed
crossover,
tags.
by the way.
No, this is historic X Over. The thing says X.
It's a cross.
No, a cross is what Jesus died on. Anyways,
turn the X.
Turn it. Killer Cross, he's back. He's making his debut at a historic crossover. That's the AEW, the New Japan WB relationship is happening officially. So they announced 3 matches have already been announced. They're all mixed tags, but I think the more interesting one of note for some will probably be the IWGP Women's Title Tournament was announced. There will be Stardom talent obviously involved with that. Round 1, October 2nd in London. There's 2 sides of the brackets, I should say. There is the Stardom side to the bracket, and then there is a international side to the bracket. Round 1 will start on October 2nd in London. Side of brackets featuring international wrestlers. Round 1 continues on October 22nd with Stardom talent. Stardom bracket has 4 wrestlers. International bracket has 3, with one of them being a bye. So eventually we'll have the new IWGP Women's Title Tournament ending at Historic X Over. But Scotty, I guess the most interesting part of that is the international side of the bracket. Who do you think are the 3 wrestlers that could be competing in this tournament?
I already have a headache thinking about this. I had to see Twitter go off about it. That was enough for me. Who do I think? Well, Ryan, thank you for asking, because I think the fun game here is that 1, we obviously don't know.
No.
But 2, there hasn't been anyone internationally from
anything
to come over to Stardom since before the pandemic. So it kind of gives us a chance to fantasy book in a lot of ways, because it's so unpredictable. A lot of people saying Tony Storm.
Yeah.
Because Rossi, this is what it said: an unbelievably famous non-Japanese Joshi wrestler is coming to Stardom sometime soon. Her name will be revealed at the 8/27 Korakuen show. And then Rossi confirmed she will participate in the women's title tournament. So instantly, Tony Storm was the first thought by a lot of people. I think that's understandable, but
I think the term Joshi wrestler makes me think of someone.
Joshi wrestler is just women's wrestling.
Yeah, I know. I guess that's true.
So it's like, really? That's the part that doesn't really affect me. To me, this is the question that we have to ask ourselves: is Tony Storm winning the AEW Women's World Championship at All Out? Because she isn't in this tournament.
No, I don't think so. I don't think she would be.
So that's really the deciding factor. So if they announce it beforehand, you might be giving away Tony Khan's women's title match. On the other hand, she might just not be in it at all. Obviously, Rossi has said, he'd like to see Tony Storm back. I think Jamie Hayter's another possibility. She's been in Stardom before. I think she'd be a good choice. Then you start thinking, like, who else would even be in consideration? And that's where, like, the game gets crazy.
Yeah.
And yes, Sasha Banks, of course, is the exciting one.
There's the bye. There's someone with a bye.
If there was anyone to get a bye, it would have to be her. And to me, if you want the biggest match possible, at historic crossover in that potential main event for the IWGP Women's Championship, which is kind of what's been hinted.
Mm-hmm.
Then you would do Mayu Iwatani versus Sasha Banks. Now, I'm not going to get my hopes up and think Sasha Banks is walking through the door. She seems pretty happy doing what she's doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also not going to be the person that's like, oh, well, people are going to get their hopes up and rule out for it, because I really don't know. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
We're in an exciting time where we're having a tournament to determine the first ever IWGP Women's Champion. There's going to be an international side. Potentially one of the matches happening at Royal Quest 2 in the UK. So maybe that could give a hint, which is why I think Jamie Hayter's a real possibility.
I was thinking that Royal Quest show could be Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter.
Also true. So that's kind of the game we play here.
We just confirm that Royal Quest is happening on that October 2nd date as well. Go ahead.
October 2nd also is the day after the 5-star Grand Prix final, which I think is just worth noting, in case anyone was like expecting, because I know some Stardom is going there.
Yeah, Royal Quest as 2 nights, night 1, night 2, October 1st, October 2nd. So night 2 will have the first round of this women's title tournament.
On the international side?
Yes, on the international side. The first round of the Joshi Stardom wrestlers is going to be October 22nd, 20 days after.
There you go. Slowly but surely we'll get there. Yeah, so the fun of it is just bouncing people off because we really, really have no idea. I think Toni Storm is reasonable. I think it would be crazy not to think her. I think Jamie Hayter's reasonable.
I agree.
I think we shouldn't just rule out Sasha Banks, because why would we do that to ourselves? Let's just have fun with it.
Yeah.
Think about it for a little bit, because you never really know. And then you also have to remember all the relationships that like companies have. So like,
I was gonna pitch some names to you as well. There's, like you said, there's relationships we have. So New Japan obviously has a relationship with AEW. Stardom doesn't necessarily currently have any relationships with people, obviously because of the pandemic, but one could presume they could easily get AEW wrestlers via New Japan, like we're saying, Toni Storm and all that stuff. There is also, New Japan also has relationships with Impact. Are there any Impact wrestlers you would love to see in this kind of tournament?
If Masha Slamovich counts, then Masha Slamovich.
That would be great. That would be wonderful. I think there's also the possibility of, let's say Toni Storm does win the AEW women's title at All Out. Well, there is then in that case, it would be a former champion that is also a former Joshi champion as well, Thunder Rosa, for a different company, albeit, but that is an option.
Seeing people say Britt Baker,
formerly in Stardom as well at one point in time.
I couldn't take it.
I would think Britt Baker has as much of a chance as Layla Hirsch has.
Layla Hirsch has no chance.
Yeah, well, I mean, Layla Hirsch, if she wasn't injured, I guess. But
okay, if she wasn't injured.
Yeah, I mean, because what? I mean, yes, they were both in Stardom, but like, if we're just pulling anyone that's already in Stardom, then I want to see Chris Wolf back. Let's bring back Chris Wolf. So
yeah.
Let's just pick random people. Is there any independent wrestlers that you want to maybe see? I mean, obviously Stardom always picks independent wrestlers. That's how Britt got in it. That's how Chris Wolf got in it. That's how Layla Hirsch got into it. Is there any independent wrestlers that you think could maybe be a possibility? Yeah, it's putting. I'm gonna put you in the seat of one Billy Corgan and try to think of popular independent women's wrestlers.
No, you never said popular. You just said, can you name one that would make sense?
Sure, yeah.
Ooh.
I think you just bolstered Mr. William Corgan's argument a little bit.
I think he's also an idiot, so
Yeah, that's
that
also true.
helps.
I think the idea. I think you're right in saying that the idea of it being in England is probably the biggest tip off of who it might be, and the fact also that Jamie Hayter, and Tony Storm have been working together for a while now. I feel like that would be a very good singles match to kick off a tournament.
Listen, this is what they have to do. They just have to make sure we don't have clowns in this, okay? And when I say
How dare
clowns, I
you?
mean people that no one knows.
Okay,
Not
thank God.
like Fuki and Death. Fuki and
Thank
Death
God.
could be in, of course. But you like you don't
Fuking and Death
you,
should win it. What are we talking
you
about?
don't want nobodies in this tournament. You're establishing the IWGP Women's Championship. So let's not have random indie wrestler number 5
Yeah,
on one side of the bracket, right?
especially if you
Let's
only have 3
names.
spots.
If I think dream scenario in terms of like big names and good wrestlers on that side would be Sasha Banks, Tony Storm, and Jamie Hayter.
Mm-hmm.
We're not getting all 3 of them.
No, I also do love.
I
the
don't even
idea
know if
of,
we're getting one of them.
I do love the idea of them bringing in Sasha Banks by making her the first ever IWGP Women's World Champion. I feel like that's something that Sasha Banks would love to have a legacy of.
It would be awesome. It would be awesome, and we don't know if Sasha Banks is even a free agent. Well, we kind of do,
Yeah,
but we don't know what she's doing.
yeah.
Let's just trying to figure out Sasha Banks has been the tale of impossibility. So yeah, let's just be excited, people. I think that's the best thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Way too many people just shooting down other people or say, oh, you know what, we shouldn't get too excited. Why not get excited about it?
It's a tournament.
That's the whole point. It's a tournament. It's the whole point of wrestling. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Just be excited. It's a fun tournament. I look forward to it. Mayu Iwatani's winning the belt, so literally it doesn't even matter. Okay? God.
And if Sasha Banks isn't in it, then it's still going to have good wrestlers. I mean, someone's still getting a bye. Like, who is that person to me?
Yeah, like it has to be someone big to get a bye.
It certainly feels that way.
And that screams Sasha Banks. So.
Or yeah, to me, it definitely screams that sort of person. Let's move on to the next topic. NXT Europe. That's right. Moving over to Europe, moving over to NXT. It was announced last week that WWE officially announcing the creation of NXT Europe. This means that NXT UK will be going on hiatus following the Worlds Collide premium live event. And then at some point in 2023 will become NXT Europe. Shawn Michaels.
NXT UK's dead, bitch.
Shawn Michaels, WWE Vice President of Talent Development Creative. A fake name if I've ever heard one. Following the success of our live events.
Give me a fake name like that.
No, I mean not Shawn Michaels. Vice President of Talent Development Creative.
I know. Someone give me a fake name like that.
Sure.
I want to be
Scotty Edwards,
CEO of Bitch Enterprises.
So are you head bitch? Is that what you're saying?
No, maybe.
Following the success of our live events and talent identification efforts throughout all of whatever, we believe this is the perfect time to expand NXT beyond the UK. Immediate first sentence is awful. What success of live events, talent identification? Glad they figured out who to pick up there and destroy the entire thing. Time to expand NXT beyond the UK. Your champion was from Russia, I think, formerly, and you have a bunch of people from France and Germany and Austria, and I don't know what you're talking about. So anyways, NXT UK is coming to an end. It's dead. It's finally over. But NXT Europe will be officially starting in 2023. No one really knows what will be different about NXT Europe. My initial guess is going to be that they're just going to be doing more like kind of touring of Europe. You know, it's not going to be, you know, maybe it's centralized to the UK just because that's where the UK PC is, but probably going to be more touring throughout Europe, going to France, going to Germany, doing all this stuff. And maybe that's the gimmick here. Otherwise, I have no idea what the difference between NXT Europe and NXT UK will be. Scotty, do you have any thoughts about NXT Europe?
No.
All right. Additionally to NXT Europe, immediately after they announced that new show and reimagining, A bunch of wrestlers got released from WWE, specifically NXT UK. There was a couple people that confirmed it, and then there was also a bunch of people that got moved to the alumni section of WWE.com. Not a good look. Could not mean anything. There are some people that, like Joseph Connors, that I believe are on the roster page, but haven't been with the company in like 6 months. So take this with a grain of salt, but it looks like the people that have maybe been released by WWE are, and Scotty, I guess stop me if you have any thoughts about any of these people. The people that have been apparently released by NXT UK are Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster, Amale, Wild Boar, Zaya Brookside, Eddie Dennis, Saxton Huxley, Amir Jordan, Danny Luna, Dave Mastiff, Amelia McKenzie, Primate, Nina Samuels, Shah Samuels, Sid Scala, Trent Seven, Ashton Smith, Jack Stars, T-Bone, Tiaman.
You're really loving this, aren't you?
And Kenny Williams. I don't know what came over me. I slowly became British over the course of that. So, any thoughts on those talents that have been seemingly released?
No. I'm gonna be that guy and be like, oh wow, I didn't know half of them worked for them. So that was the real problem. When I heard that they had a guy named Wild Boar on their roster and a guy named Primate, I was like,
they were a tag team, if you believe it.
Wow, that's shocking. I was like, wow, maybe the death of NXT UK makes sense. It sucks that people lost their jobs, but at the same time, like, the reports of NXT UK money was never like shockingly out of this world or anything. And
yeah,
it sounds like the way they could have stayed is if they wanted to go to the US. Some of them, I'm sure some others just got released to get released. But
some also could be coming back to NXT Europe, get rehired.
I can't sit here and act like they released like people that were going to go on to be world champion.
Yeah.
They released no one of that nature. It stinks for them that they lost their jobs, but they'll be fine. They're going right into a red hot UK scene. Oh wait. Shit.
Oh no, what have we done?
Oh no. You know what is good though? That they kept all the people. Did Trent Seven get released? Is that what you said?
Yes, he did. Seemingly, yes.
See, allegedly. Like I guess he's the only one, but at the same time, he's like 40 years old.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
And he probably didn't want to leave England, so they were like, "All right, listen, man, we gotta let you go."
Yeah, I think he's probably the biggest name off the list. But you're right; he is 41 years old. He's not. It's like I don't know.
He did what he needed to do.
Yes,
at the time, but it's not like he was gonna be super special in any time soon. And to me, the most interesting question is what happens to Meiko Satomura.
Yes,
because obviously she is the NXT UK Women's Champion, and she's already been willing to move once. So I'm guessing since we didn't see her, I don't know what her contract is. Obviously, she has one, but I don't know how that situation goes because obviously she also runs Sendai Girls in Japan. It's her company, but. Yeah, if she could stick around too, that's great. And Tyler Bate and Blair Davenport are probably going to be the two that benefit the most from NXT UK's demise.
Yeah, I would agree. And that and Gallus, of course. We can't forget Gallus.
No, we can forget Gallus. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't think. I think maybe Zaya Brookside is also an interesting one, just because
she stunk.
I know, but her dad's a coach, so it's like that sort of thing.
No?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe her dad still works there.
I thought for sure he got let go when Regal did.
I think he still works there. But I think that's the one that's interesting also. And like you said, there are already people that are picking up the pieces on the British independent wrestling scene. Millie McKenzie already has a booking. Wild Boar already has a booking. So I'm sure other people will be getting bookings shortly. So I'm not too concerned.
Some people just need the boar.
Some people just need the boar, you know?
Yeah, NXT UK. That's why they rocked on. They had the boar. You know, Raw and SmackDown had the boar for like years.
Really?
Yeah, because it was so fucking boring. It was perfect. But
that was a great joke. That was an all-time joke. I appreciate that one. I would also say that I would love to see maybe, just bring him in there for like a spot or two. Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster into AEW.
I felt bad for them.
Yeah.
They were a good tag team.
Yeah, I would love to just bring them into AEW maybe for a spell, just for a bit.
To me, they scream not wanting to relocate.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if they want to relocate.
Fightful reported that Flash Morgan Webster just re-signed a contract.
Oof. That
so
stinks.
I'm guessing he didn't want to move.
Yeah, that might
Which is
be
fine.
true.
I get it. That's your home. Why would you want to get up and leave? Oh, maybe unless you had goals in WWE. Otherwise, go wrestle somewhere else. I think he's been hurt too. Anyways,
I don't know. But I think maybe AEW is a company that could also not necessarily use them, but bring them in.
No, AEW doesn't need anyone right now.
They don't need more people, but I think
the only person they need is CM Punk.
I thought you were going to say Sid Scala for a second there.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no.
The only person they need is Sid
No one
Scala.
needs that grimy fuck.
That does lead me in greatly, thank you, Scotty, into our next big opening topic, and that was the trial of Punk v. Page that happened over the week, this past week. The drama, I guess, started in CM Punk's promo this past Wednesday, where he called out Adam Page to do a rematch for the title. Adam Page didn't come out, and CM Punk promptly said that the advice from CM Punk would be that the apology has to be as loud and out there as the disrespect. This seemingly, according to Dave Meltzer, is a callback to the workers' rights promo by Adam Page during the build-up to their title match, where he called out workers' rights, which seems to be also a callback that Dave is alluding to the whole issue with Colt Cabana seemingly almost getting fired, but then getting kind of rehired and pushed to Ring of Honor and that whole sort of thing. So there's all this backstage drama simmering. There's reports of CM Punk saying, "I'm never gonna job" to Adam Page. Whether or not that was said to him directly, who knows? There's reports that obviously they don't like each other. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful saying that this isn't a work. Voice of Wrestling saying that, if this is a work, then they have two ongoing locker room works with this and MJF. So that's a bold move. Don't think that'll be possible. And then, of course, after all this, we get the BT bits of Adam Page kind of blowing it off and all these sort of things. So who the heck knows what is a work, what is a shoot? But Scotty, Punk v. Page, how do you feel? What's your take on this whole big drama?
Could you imagine if someone went on TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And on WWE TV, and they went up to Roman Reigns and said something about that because he made R-Truth get demoted.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're dealing with here between CM Punk and the Colt Cabana situation. Listen, I'm sorry. I get it. People love Colt Cabana. Great guy. Nice guy. Listen, I also know that CM Punk, not always the nicest guy. But you know what? One of them is very important compared to the other. I'm sorry. So to me, it's not that big of a deal that Colt Cabana got sent to Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
So that CM Punk, their biggest signing ever,
mm-hmm.
would come in and I don't know, help them go from here to here.
Yeah.
Like,
help them draw money.
Help them draw money. It's just I don't. I get why people are upset, I guess, about Colt Cabana, but like,
Yeah.
this is wrestling. Let's just grow a pair and get over it. Like, worse things have happened, okay, than Colt Cabana. It's not like he got released. That's the whole thing. He didn't get released for CM Punk.
Still has a job.
He still has a job. And honestly, he should be in Ring of Honor because that's just his original home. That's like, people, when you think of Colt Cabana, well, I don't think of much, but I guess you think of Ring of Honor. And yeah, probably a good amount of this is true.
Yeah.
But you bet your ass they're going to turn it into a work because that's what they do.
Yeah.
CM Punk's playing it off in his celebration. For anyone that didn't understand that, there was a baseball announcer for the Cincinnati Reds, I forget his name, that said like a derogatory remark, and he was saying it behind, but he didn't know they went live. He said it, people heard him, and then while he was apologizing, he went a swing and a drive, Nick Castellanos' home run. Like, mid apology, he just went into that, and people were like, what? So that was the joke, because that's CM Punk, and CM Punk could play off that joke. But I can't sit here and see the people that were like, you know what, CM Punk's a problem for AEW. They got to get rid of him, or they got to take the title off of him. No. CM Punk is not a problem for AEW. It's a one-time situation. We knew. Tony knew when he signed CM Punk there was going to be the situation with Colt Cabana.
Yeah, we talked about it on the show. We talked about on the show about how you're bringing in Punk, you're gonna have that stuff happening. Who knows if he's gonna get another situation with another wrestler is gonna happen. You knew the stakes, but you also knew the gains, and that is monetarily.
And people have to realize they are doing something that I don't know if everyone's realizing. CM Punk is wrestling against every fan favorite.
Yeah.
Darby Allin.
1.
Eddie Kingston.
2.
MJF, no, but
fans like
that
him.
was kind of. Yeah. Like, that was the one. That was the one off. But Hangman Page.
3-ish.
Hangman Page was a fan favorite.
Well, no, because MJF. So I said 3-ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Adam Page, and then this upcoming Wednesday,
Jon Moxley
for the AEW World Title.
Possibly the 4 top baby faces of that company. Kenny Omega's back now, so it's a different conversation. But like, those 4,
that's true, have
been red hot for a long time in all their own ways, right? And he's feuding with all of them. It's almost like someone's going to be heel soon. Crazy. I know. CM Punk is a heel. Probably going to be masterful because he's so good at it. But they're going to turn this into a work if some of it's not already, okay? And I just don't think it's as big a deal as people want to make it. The Hangman Page part? Yeah, that is a big deal because it's 2 of the top dudes feuding. It's 2 top stars feuding.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think people have to remember, this is wrestling. This happens all the time. It's just a matter if it gets out or not. And it's a matter if they want it to get out or not. And
that's a great point.
AEW, more often than not, when they have things to get out, it's because they want it to.
Yeah.
The MJF thing, that created a swirl, got people talking. He had that one promo. He's been gone since. The moment he shows up, he's going to feel like the biggest star in wrestling.
Yep.
And the moment that CM Punk, because he's going to be the biggest heel in wrestling.
Yep.
It all works together for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It is. I was talking over with someone, a friend of the show, Trish, about this whole thing. And I was talking to her about it because it was like, let's take this whole thing as a shoot, right? Let's say this whole thing is legit. At the end of the day, this conversation comes down between of Punk versus Page as a business wrestling capitalistic argument versus a moral argument, right? On the Punk side, you have someone that sells merch, brings up ratings, is a good ratings mover, uh, sells tickets, not as much as other people, but he does sell tickets. He's not a huge ticket mover, but he does move tickets.
Chicago disagrees.
Chicago certainly disagrees, and there's at least that one First Dance show where he certainly moved tickets. But he's the moneymaker. He is your top, whether or not he's your top star, he's certainly one of your biggest, if not your biggest, money mover.
Yeah.
So making that guy happy, that's important. On the other hand, you have a moral argument with Adam Page. I completely, let's again saying this whole thing is a shoot, saying this whole thing is based in reality. I completely agree where Adam Page is coming from. You have someone that is well respected in the locker room, Colt Cabana, who has a history of this guy, CM Punk. CM Punk comes in and just suddenly around the same time, there's rumors of Colt getting fired, right? That obviously you're going to start pointing fingers at CM Punk being part of that. And then we also got the report of the Young Bucks saying, hey, let's keep Colt. Let's not get rid of Colt. Let's move him to Ring of Honor. And that ends up happening, right? So people are obviously can be upset about that. And obviously the first thing to do is going to point to CM Punk because of their guy's history. Whether or not it's just maybe TK doesn't want to have Colt anymore, that could be it. And it's just poor timing, but who the heck knows, right? So people are going to point to it. And there's the mortal argument of, hey, how can you be so pro workers' rights, pro all these other things, when at the same time you are behind the scenes seemingly pushing a guy out of the company? That's not fair. And that's also true. Both can be true. But if you're TK, if you're the guy in the middle, who do you make happy? This is Adam Page is going to send a sentiment throughout the entire locker room that is a valid point. The moral argument is a valid point. We have to make a happy locker room. We have to make everybody happy and treat everyone equally and do all those good things. On the other hand, there's the business side. That CM Punk is obviously going to draw more as Adam Page. On the other hand, if CM Punk doesn't draw this upcoming Wednesday, that's going to be really bad for him. Now, he's also going to draw. It's a fucking unification title match versus Jon Moxley. Of course it's going to draw. So you're going to have to make this guy happy because if he leaves, then there goes the piggy bank, right? There goes all that money. So what do you do if you're TK between making this thing happen? Maybe you try to get both people happy. You keep this guy as champ, or take the title off of him. He can still be a money mover, and you don't have to get the world title around him or anything. Or you keep the title on him, make him happy, and just do whatever you want. Over here, have him do something else, or go over. I don't know, be the Ring of Honor world champion. I don't care. Go off and do something else. Who the heck knows? I don't really know if I was TK. It's a tough spot to be in. But otherwise, if you make a story out of it, then you can make the whole thing money. And you can make the whole thing become money. You can bring in MJF, another work shooter kind of guy, a shoot worker kind of guy, and bring in MJF and make the whole thing even be realistic. And have all these other news outlets talking about this and the wrestling world bubbling over this sort of news. And the whole thing can make money. So it's a tough spot to be in, and I don't blame them. And maybe that's the work aspect of it, is trying to make the money out of everything. But it is a wild spot to be in for all this drama, big drama.
Chaos, controversy creates dollar signs, and it's exactly what's going to happen again. They're building to a show. I don't know if anyone knows this. It's All Out.
What?
You want to create as much steam as possible. Last year,
but what's the world title gonna be? What's going to be the world title match?
It's a good time to remind people that last year. Oh, do you remember what was the big build up to All Out last year? Who involved?
Well, we established last week that I'm not a wrestling historian, so give me a second. I believe it was. I don't remember.
CM
Punk versus Darby, was that one?
CM Punk walking back into professional wrestling on the First Dance, making that match official for All Out, instantly made All Out go from, okay, this show looks okay, to this is a huge show,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the big. I think it was the biggest show, biggest pay-per-view buy of all time.
Yeah, and then
AEW.
what was the main event? Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage. Did that matter? No, because it was all about CM Punk versus Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Right? That's what people were there for. And then what happened at the end of the show? They deliver even more. You get Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fast forward to this year. What is the main story going into All Out, their biggest show of the year, Ryan?
CM Punk, John
Yeah!
Moxley, Blackpool
Punk.
Combat Club,
CM Punk. You
in
know
Chicago,
why?
in Chicago as well.
In Chicago. He is the money man. He's not going anywhere.
No.
He's had a lot of fun this whole time. He's not going to walk out. He's not going to walk out. Tony Khan will not let him walk out. It's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk, Hangman Page, Colt Cabana. Listen, I love Hangman Page. I have no feelings about Colt Cabana. Hangman Page will be fine. He will be fine. Colt Cabana, have fun in Ring of Honor. CM Punk, you make sure he's happy. You do. You make sure he's happy. Because that's the person people want to see still.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's lost his juice or anything. No, he got hurt.
We'll certainly find out on Wednesday. We'll certainly find out on Wednesday if he.
But I think CM Punk's return has been nothing but a success in terms of a wrestling and just wrestling. I'm not talking money. I'm not talking about attendance. I'm talking about the stories he's told, the matches he's had. He's been nothing but phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for him to fight John Moxley. I can't wait to see what we get it all out. It's an exciting time in wrestling.
Yeah.
And while all this happens, people are forgetting that Kenny fucking Omega just came back. For the very first time.
And then also seemingly called out this sort of CM Punk FTR Bret Hartness, right?
Yeah, well, that was great.
Talk about work shoots.
That's maybe your biggest trios match you can book. FTR and Punk versus the Elite. Yeah, that's just woo. Yeah. But right, we're now here at a time for the very first time that we have a completely healthy Kenny Omega.
Yep.
A healthy CM Punk and a healthy Bryan Danielson.
Yep.
Would it be the worst thing for us to just enjoy the ride? Would it be the worst thing? Because I know
it would be. How dare we can't enjoy what we're watching.
I literally tweeted during this that no one hates professional wrestling more than professional wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it. We're getting so much good this week on AEW Dynamite. I'm becoming Tony Khan now. Woo, sorry. Well, this week on AEW Dynamite.
Do more hashtags and more ats.
That's a good point. We're getting Death Triangle, Pac, Penta, Phoenix versus the United Empire. Will Osprey and Aussie Open. How can you not be excited about that? Oh, and of course, the unified AEW World Championship match.
A match that we all assume would be pay-per-view main event is getting on free television.
Well, Tony's got some stories to tell, and I look forward to seeing what those stories are.
It should also be said, though, is like you said, make your champion happy. There's also the other foot to that, which is, don't be walked over.
That's true.
Do we think any of that stuff happening? I don't know. I mean, I've heard rumors about CM Punk being upset with Tony on different various issues, but whether or not they're true is one thing, but whether or not TK, what is his response to any of these? Who knows? We know of backdoor conversations, we know private conversations in TK's office. Punk seemingly, according, I think it was to Fightful, saying that he wasn't going to maybe going to show up to television that day. Who knows? I mean, that was also previously announced, if I'm not mistaken, that he would be there. But
not only did he show up, but I thought he cut a fantastic promo.
Yeah.
And I thought they had 2 fantastic segments with the pull apart brawl. So they've built this match up in 1 week to be as big as you want it to be. Would I put it on real TV? I don't know about that. But this has always been the AEW game. This has always been it.
Yeah.
They put big matches on TV because at the end of the day, their pay-per-views are always going to sell.
Yeah.
Those are going to sell. They don't have to worry about packing those.
And if you're also Tony Khan, you're looking at that TV match and being like, sure, we'll do this on TV because I know what the pay-per-view match will be, and that's going to sell more.
Yeah.
It's a gamble, but it's a gamble. But
that's CM Punk versus MJF for the AEW World Title, great.
Yeah.
That's going to sell like gangbusters. If this doesn't go to a clean finish and it's just there's frustration, but people are going to watch it and they're going to be happy about it because they're going to see a world champion crowd. That's the game. That's how wrestling goes. It is what it is. I'm excited. Let's move on.
Well, before we move on, what's your verdict? I was framing this as a Punk v. Page sort of trial. What's the verdict? Is it shoot? Is this whole thing a work? Is this a work shoot? Is this a shoot becoming a work? What's your verdict, Scotty?
Shoot becoming a work.
Yeah. I tend to agree. I think there may be some
just like the MJF stuff.
Just like the MJF stuff. Just like kind of everything they do in AEW. Remember there's that line of Tony Khan saying something along the lines of I feel like having realism and realistic stories and having real life bubbling up at the surface is good to have in wrestling.
Yep.
He likes this sort of stuff. So
it creates conversation about his product.
Yeah.
What's not to like about that?
Is it bad news about the product? I mean, if anyone's getting heat here, it might be Punk, who might be turning heel soon, and maybe Tony Khan, who it's the owner of the company. So what does he care if he's making money?
As a great author once wrote, controversy creates cash. That author was Eric Bischoff.
Thank you for the citation. Appreciate it. Let's move on here. I think we're
just
both
don't do too much,
this.
Otherwise you're gonna be WCW.
That's and I think maybe
WCW lost. I don't know if people remember this, but they lost.
Mm-hmm. This sort of constant work shooting is some people say is very WCW-ish, especially if you're working the locker room. Now, there's the other thing. Everyone's talking about like, oh yeah, you're constantly working the locker room. I don't know. It's also known that the locker room is good at keeping secrets. So how do I know that they're working the locker room and the locker room?
From what I know, the locker room almost always either has an idea, or when they don't have an idea, they still they lie to the point that it's like so not going to be true that it's like great.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with it.
It's a tight-knit group back there in AEW.
That's the belief. That is the belief. Speaking about tight-knit groups, I guess G1 Climax was officially came to a close last week.
Speaking of tightened something.
Didn't have a good transition there, but there was the finals that took place last.
I literally talked about Will Osprey in that segment. You could have just
damn it.
Oh wait, catch. It's the L that you get for being wrong and bad.
What am I supposed to do with this now? I'll just put it on the shelf behind me. Put it right there. G1 Climax finals took place last week. Semifinals happened on Wednesday, and the finals on Thursday, with a winner of the G1 being crowned. Obviously, the bigger talking point is probably the finals, but let's talk about the semifinals real quickly. Semifinal matches were Block A winner Kazuchika Okada versus Block B winner Tama Tonga, with Okada beating Tama Tonga in 19 minutes and 8 seconds. And the Block C winner of, I believe it was Tetsuya Naito, losing to Will Osprey, who was the Block D winner in 20 minutes and 23 seconds. What do you think of those two matches?
I thought Okada versus Tama Tonga saw the best Tama Tonga match of all time. Singles match, singles match at least.
Yeah. You never saw that evil match.
I saw that evil match. That was good.
I'm joking.
Good.
No, it
That
was
really good,
probably
actually.
his best.
I probably have him at the same level, truthfully, which is very funny to think about.
It was probably Tama's best singles match. Maybe
his best
Star
like
War.
non House of Torture, like just straight up singles match.
Yeah.
That make you feel better? That make you feel better about it?
I agree.
And I thought the Osprey versus Naito match was pure class. That was fantastic. I thought it was just the way they did it, of Naito hitting the Destino and still not winning, and then Will winning out of nowhere with the hidden blade. It was fantastic. It was going to be my match of the tournament.
Yeah, it was so close to being match of the tournament.
I was like, oh man, this is easily match of the tournament. Literally nothing the next day can like we've gotten to the point with New Japan. Like I haven't seen that classic since probably Wrestle Kingdom in 2020 with Okada and Naito. Was that? Yeah, maybe that's as far back. But truthfully, the greatness of what this G1 final was, we can go further back.
Yeah,
because I think this was better than that Wrestle Kingdom main event. I think this was better than, I don't know. We'd have to go back. But
it's the semifinal. I love both semifinals. Like you sort of talked about with Osprey and Naito. It
felt like the G1 finally.
Yeah, you're right. You're completely right. It was Osprey versus Naito. First time ever having a singles match together. Unbelievable chemistry, right?
Oh my god.
It's like they've been wrestling for years already. It is.
Naito's still so good.
Naito's
having no knees.
No knees, no neck, no eyeballs. He's just he's the $1 million man at this point. Versus Will Osprey, who apparently, I saw someone tweet out, seemingly with Naito, Will Osprey seems to be Naito's new neck breaking buddy. With all the bumps that happened in this match.
Oh my gosh. It was so good. I was like,
good.
Oh, dude, this is lock it up. Match of the tournament. Great job.
How do you feel about Naito losing to Will Osprey? Obviously, people are pegging him as a victor. I think you and I, maybe you said Naito something who'll win it. Yeah.
I thought it was fine. I didn't care that much.
It's hard to care once you see like a 4+ star match. You're like,
yeah, you're asking me now after the G1 final.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I don't care now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I thought Naito winning and getting that story of one more Wrestle Kingdom main event was cool, but I can't be upset with what we got. So.
Yeah, no. Well, let's talk
about lie here and say that.
Let's talk about the finals. Two great semifinals. Obviously, I think we're both in agreement that Will Osprey Naito one was even better than the Okada Tama Tonga one. But it does move us into the finals themselves with Kazuchika Okada versus Will Osprey. 33 minutes of just class wrestling. Okada getting the win over Osprey. Scotty, I went 5 stars on this.
It was my match of the year the moment it ended.
So let's talk about that. Match of the year. I think for me, the current front runners are this match and the FTR Briscoes match.
Mine too.
And I don't necessarily have a third. Right, handy dandy. I think this is my second 5-star of the year.
It's mine too. It was an instant 5-star. It was an instant wow. That was why people watch New Japan. That's what people have been wanting to watch for.
It was the return to old New Japan. The good, the great.
I think my best example for it was like I've went back and watched some New Japan matches over the last year, and I was like, this is the excitement that people felt while they watched those. Like this is what it was.
Yeah.
You watch them, they have a great match, they pull off some great moves, but they tell a story in it. Osprey doing the phenomenal forearm, the Styles Clash,
the high fly
flow, the V trigger, but failing to hit that one winged angel and not trusting his own moves, by the way. He doesn't trust that Stormbreaker. He can't beat Okada. He can't Do it.
The only time he ever beat Okada in a singles match was the Great Okan debut.
Yeah, which that was help. He still has yet to straight up, truthfully beat Okada and get to that level. And it's a great story that they continue to tell. And I think a lot of people were right. It's like, man, they almost want to see Will Ospreay as a babyface, which is so weird because he's a very easy guy to dislike. And he's very good at being that way.
Mm-hmm.
But like the raw emotion that he had after his loss, and it was a phenomenal match. It was as good as of a New Japan match as you'll see.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. This felt like a return to form for New Japan as a whole.
I thought their match at Wrestle Kingdom this year was great.
Mm-hmm.
But this was just like
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So, this is
just incredible. Incredible year for both of them too.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think you're right. I think Will Ospreay.
I saw what he ended up doing over the weekend too.
Oh yeah. At Rev Pro?
Yeah. Not only I know he fought Ricky Knight Jr., but Speedball. Are you kidding me? We're just giving that match away?
And then he's gonna be on Dynamite this Wednesday.
Against Death Triangle?
Against Pac? Phoenix? Pentagon? Phoenix and Will Ospreay, man. Whew. Yeah, no, this match is fantastic. You're completely right. That the callbacks to other people, he set it up in the promo the night before.
Phoenix and Will Ospreay.
Calling back to Tanahashi and Naito and AJ Styles and Kenny Omega. You set it up in the promo the night before, laid it out, did it in the match, worked perfectly. I love that there are moments in the match where you just felt like, oh, Okada's got this. Oh, no, Ospreay's got this. And no, we just kept going. Beautifully paced into that point. Beautifully paced match. Beautiful work between the two of them. Okada just great selling. Ospreay great storytelling. You see this match and you see superstars tweeting about how Ospreay is still a flippy do wrestler, and it's like, what? You watch this match? What are you talking about? He's not a flippy do wrestler. He's a wrestler. He's a bona fide wrestler.
I think this is the best Will Ospreay match of all time.
Yeah, I would have to.
There's no match I feel like he's been more complete.
Let's go through it.
Oh well, he's had a lot of 5-star matches.
I know.
I gotta read a tweet about it every week. Oh, now he's, this one step closer to having the most, and I'm like, great, awesome. Before the age of 30, I was like,
So, according to Dave Meltzer, gave the same star rating to these two matches, but Cage Match has another match higher. So Kazuchika Okada obviously Dave gave it 5 3/4. Cage Match has a 9.62. This match also has 5 3/4, 9.69. Is the 2019 Best of Super Juniors.
Oh, with Shingo.
With Shingo, the finals there.
Yeah, that would be the only one I would consider.
Yeah, the other ones that are up there. Night 14 of the 2017 Best of Super Juniors, Kushida versus Will Ospreay. There's a Walter versus Will Ospreay and OTT. I mean, I don't think any of those come close, though, to... I mean, that Shingo match is also very good.
Yeah, the Shingo match is the only one I'd consider, because that is phenomenal stuff.
Yeah. Will Ospreay, it's unbelievable that people are still dunking on him, saying, oh, he's just a flippy-do wrestler. It's like, what Osprey matches are you watching? Stop watching 2017 Best Super Juniors.
They clearly just don't watch Will Ospreay wrestle anymore. It's
No.
because all the highlights people ever show is him doing that.
Yeah. No, he's doing power moves nowadays. He's doing strikes. Like, what are we talking about? This match, unbelievable. But now that means we get Okada. He's challenging. He wins the G1. He is now on.
He said, "Fuck the briefcase."
He said, "Fuck the briefcase." Fuck.
You are king.
Fuck the briefcase. Fuck defending the briefcase.
I'm not fighting Bronson Reed. Fuck you. I'm not defending shit.
Yeah.
That's my king right there. Yeah, I'm going on maternity leave. Don't fucking call me till Wrestle Kingdom. See ya.
And in fact, Bronson Reed, you can, for defeating me, you can take on Jay White. You can face Jay White, I guess.
Yeah. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
I'm going to Wrestle Kingdom. Oh,
and
one night of Wrestle Kingdom, bitches.
Beautiful. One night of Wrestle Kingdom officially announced on July 4th. 5th will just be New Year's Dash. We're back. See, remember, I think it was last week where we were previewing the finals, and I was just like, yeah, there's going to be multiple nights of Wrestle Kingdom, so who cares about any of this?
Yeah,
now I care!
We said 7 nights of Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, now it's one night. The beautiful chef's kiss one night. We're back, baby. Old school New Japan. That's my 50-year anniversary that I want to hear. I guess 51 will be because it's the new year.
It also featured the first defense of the IWGP Women's Championship. So
that is true. So we're gonna have Okada versus somebody, presumably Jay White. Presumably Jay White. He's defending against some people. And then the whoever for the
title.
Women's defense, not the first ever women's champion, but a women's defense against somebody.
First women's defense. Very excited.
Whoever that may be. And then, of course, it's Wrestle Kingdom. So we're not going to get 2 nights of...
New Year's Dash is back.
New Year's Dash is also back. We're not going to get 2 nights of a bunch of tag matches and then 3 or 4 good matches. It's potentially just going to be 8, 9, 10 great matches, right?
A chance for the show to be great again.
Yeah. Just up and down match, easily show of the year caliber. I think that's what we're headed, and I'm greatly here for it. Okada versus Jay White. How you feeling about that as a main event?
It'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I'm sure it'll be very good.
Yeah, I don't have any qualms. I think about it. I would love to see Osprey. I'll see Osprey in that match. But Jay White versus Okada is going to be a good match. They put on great matches. It's also It's also Wrestle Kingdom. Jay White also puts on great matches at Wrestle Kingdom. Does great work. I talk about it. I still love that Jay White Kota Ibushi Wrestle Kingdom match from a few years ago. That was fantastic. So yeah, we'll see what happens down the line. But I'm fascinated. This company is just went out there, showed us what it can be, and what it can be is what it once was. So I'm very hopeful.
Still not saying they're back yet.
Not saying they're back, but I'm very hopeful for the future and what it has in store for us as wrestling fans.
If Wrestle Kingdom, whatever number it is, delivers as it should, they'll be back.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And of course, we got some other stuff.
Get excited for Tag League.
We got Tag League. We got best junior Tag League, maybe. Who knows? That's happening. But yeah, got a lot of great stuff on the horizon. So I'm definitely excited for New Japan on the upcome. That's not a phrase. Let's move on to another Japanese great show. I guess some people have different opinions about that. But it is Stardom X Stardom. The Goya Midsummer Encounter World Wonder Ring Stardom had a show in the middle of the 5-star Grand Prix with a bunch of different stuff. I watched all of it. Scotty, I know you watched all of it as well. Overall thoughts about Stardom X Stardom.
Well, Kyrie wasn't there, so...
No, she was not.
I kind of just watched it, wanted to cry.
Yeah. We're talking about CM Punk. Speaking about people that don't want a job.
Still kind of want to cry about it. Pretty emotional.
Still a good match. Still a good match replacement.
I asked myself, what's the point? What's the point of wrestling?
Are you sure? Maybe, who knows? I think it was a good match replacement. I think the last 3 matches here were like probably the big standouts.
Yeah, the last 3 matches were great. Everything else was the artist match was pretty good, and then everything else was just filler or bad or just fine.
Well, let's talk about the main event: World of Stardom title match. Shuri defeats Nanae Takahashi.
Oh, this was great. I think people that don't understand why this was an important match don't really get why it happened in the first place. So Nanae Takahashi, obviously, the first ever World of Stardom champion, just a very historic thing to have a wrestler come back all these years later and try to get it against what may be the most dominant World of Stardom champion we've seen.
Yeah.
Now like this win for Shuri now has given her wins over Julia, Mayumi Utani, Utami Hayashishita, Nanae Takahashi, Tam Nakano.
5.
Like, she's beaten the who's who of Stardom today and yesterday. Literally all she's missing is like Io Shirai to like define this as like she's beaten the history of Stardom pretty much.
Yeah.
It is.
She's beaten Mirai, Himeka, Risa Sera, Momo
Yeah,
Watanabe to add to that list.
Momo Watanabe was the other one I wanted to add. The most dominant wonder of Stardom champion ever. So she has beaten as many key parts of Stardom as possible.
Yeah.
And now we're here at a point where they had, I thought this match was great. Very just, what you want out of these two, just very physical. They're slapping, they're hitting each other hard, headbutts. Shuri hits a crazy drop kick from the second rope down to the floor because she's out of her mind. They had a great match, and it was never really in doubt who would win.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see Nanae get that moment because, you also have to remember, Joshi wrestlers, they don't always wrestle forever. Like some of the greats do, obviously. But Nanae is one of them. She had a great showing. Her best singles match in I don't know how long. Yeah, I thought it was great. She should be proud of it. If this is her last Stardom match ever, then it's one hell of a way to go out.
I was just wondering. I was like, I wonder how old. You're right. Nanae Takahashi
43?
has been wrestling for a bit. Yeah, 43 years old. Unbelievable to do that at 43. She felt like another wrestler on the roster at 43 years old. It's unbelievable.
She has knee problems. Like she took her time away earlier or late last year or into early this year, and it's been great for her.
Oh yeah, I think for me personally, I don't think this match hit me as hard as the co-main event, the semi-main event, and I think that is part of it is what you're sort of talking about. There is more of a history to Nanae Takahashi that I don't know about personally as a new Stardom fan, but otherwise, I still thought the match was good. Still thought the match was delivered. You're right, Shuri is still dominant. I'm kind of. How are you feeling about Shuri's reign? Are you feeling still good about it? Still great about it?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think the problem is we've now run out of people.
Yeah, so, I'm kind of at the point with Shuri where I'm just like, all right, what's next? What are we doing? What's next?
Yeah, so like now it's probably time we lead to her dropping it, just because they've really had her go through everyone.
Yeah.
It's not like we're saving a big match right now for her. Like, obviously, the Julia match, the rematch, is the big one. But she's beaten everyone. So now it's like, all right, let's...
I mean, maybe also Utami, to be fair. I mean, Utami also...
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's as big as a match you can do because it's still a big, fresh thing. I just don't want them to run it into the ground.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Yeah, no,
it's been great every time it's needed to be. Don't do a Naito Okada thing that they did this year. Just like, yeah, here's this match.
Yeah. I'm sort of waning. I'm on the. I'm not completely gone, but if her reign was a moon cycle, yeah, I'm definitely on the waning scale rather than the waxing scale. That seems weird. But yeah, I thought this match was good. But I really enjoyed the semi-main event, which was the Wonder of Stardom title match. Saya Kamitani versus Himeka. Like we already alluded to, Kairi could not make it. She tested positive for COVID, so she was pulled from the match. And Himeka took her place. And boy, howdy, this match slapped, or rather bumped hard. Obviously the big talking point of the bump that came out of this match was the top rope power bomb that Himeka did that just stuck Saya Kamitani directly on her neck. Super dangerous, a really bad angle, but it looked awfully great.
It looked awful in a lot of ways. As someone that obviously didn't get to watch live, but I made sure to stand spoiled. I was terrified when I watched it because I was like, did she get up?
Yeah.
Is she
She
okay?
alive? I mean,
Is she alive? Did this completely derail the show and I don't know about it? So that was the problem for me for a second there. And I was like, okay, she's fine. She got up. Yeah, this match for me was very interesting because I thought the first half was okay. I was waiting. Yeah, I was like, there's something that I need to flip the switch, and then they flipped the switch. Just a fantastic second half of the match. Hameka really showed out here. When she hit her running power bomb, I was like, oh my god, wait a minute. It's like I might stop watching this company if they take Saya versus Kyra away from me for Hameka. But yeah, great. It ended up being a great match and a great Saya defense. I think they did as good as they could, seeing that the match that originally was scheduled
yeah.
was the most exciting match of the year for Stardom. And I think they did a great job. So hell yeah to them.
Yeah, I think they did a phenomenal job for stepping up and stepping into a good match, a really great match. Um, you know, Hameka's really good. Hameka's really good. And obviously Saya Kamatani is probably looking at my ratings, Scotty, I don't know if you would agree or disagree with me so far, but currently, I don't know if this is a surprise, but Saya Kamatani is apparently my women's wrestler of the year currently, according to my ratings. So she's great. She's been phenomenal all year long. I mean, just looking back at like my previous ratings of her matches, and it's like the growth just in the past like 4 years alone has been insurmountable for Saya Kamatani. I think she's had an unbelievable year, an unbelievable reign. One of the reasons the Kyrie match was so exciting for us was not just, oh, it's Kyrie wrestling. She's wrestling for a title. She's wrestling for the Wonder of Stardom title. That's huge. But it's also that you and I were very excited because she was specifically wrestling Saya Kamatani. If she was wrestling Himeka, it wouldn't be as exciting. But the fact that it was against Saya really speaks to how much Saya has grown over the years and how phenomenal of a year she has had this year. So my hat is tipped off to her for just continuing to be great. Honestly, it's great stuff. There was also the Goddesses of Stardom title match. Cosmic Angels Natsupoi and Tam Nakano defeated Hazuki and Kagama to be the new Goddesses of Stardom champions. So we have a title change at this show. Scotty, what do you think about this match and the new champions?
This was actually my favorite match of the show.
Really?
Yep.
I'm surprised by that. Why was it your favorite match?
I just think from what I expected these two teams to do, it was very physical. I think Hazuki is on the top of her game. I think Tam and Natsupoi are phenomenal together, and they are the right choice to win. As much as I love FWC and I love, them in their reign, I thought it was time. I think Tam and Poi will have a great reign. And I thought just overall the match worked really well together. I know you had the one thing where Hazuki fell, but that was the only thing I could think of that hurt the match, I guess, but it wasn't really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just meshed together really well. I liked all three of these last matches.
Yeah.
So it was like a really good final three that they often do. But this one was, I think, the emotion behind it, for Tam especially, it really invested me into it. I'm happy she won because now that she has a title, she'll be able to tell a couple stories with it, which I know people love. And I think there's a lot of really exciting challengers for them down the chute, whether it be Aphrodite, which is of course Utami and Saya, or Momo and Starlight Kid, or Mayu and someone. That's a good story to play off of. There's a lot of ways to go. So it's exciting. And yeah, the match was great. I don't have much to say about the rest of the show, so
Yeah.
there's that.
I'll throw in Donna Del Mundo, Julia,
Yeah,
and somebody. I don't know who.
yeah. I mean, my dream would be Tam and Natsupoi versus Julia and Shuri, but I'll never get that. So.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. But Julia and I'm trying to think. I can't think of anyone in Donna Del Mundo right now for some reason. I mean, I don't know, Micah. Why not? We'll do that. Why not?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Get that Natsupoi connection. It'd be Micah, it could be Himika, who knows? I thought I thought this match was still pretty good. It wasn't my favorite between the last three, but I still thought this match was very good. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Natsupoi and Tom getting it because I am all about bear erasure. Get that's my gimmick. Obviously, is to upset all Joshi fans. Less titles off of the bear, the better. That's what I've always said.
I'm not even gonna
comment. No, yeah,
you're riling people up, and I'm okay with it.
On purpose, baby. That's all I do. But very good. I also think, I jokingly say stuff about Kagama in that sense, but the other way, there's also we just took the title off of Hazuki, who is doing pretty good in the 5-star. So
undefeated.
I don't know. Maybe we are opening the door for Hazuki to maybe do something. I mean, the 5-stars still got ways to go, but maybe we can get Hazuki to challenge. Maybe that's the one person that I don't think Hazuki has challenged for the World of Stardom title match against Shuri yet. I don't think that's happened yet. So maybe that's the match. That sounded like a ship passing by. How you did it.
That was pretty good. I think I could agree to that. I think I did pretty good at that.
That was a pretty fantastic spot. The other matches happened on the show, of course. I think there was some other good stuff in here. The Artists of Stardom title match. Oedo Tai, Momo Watanabe, Sakakashima, and Starlight Kid all doing their hair or mask hair, I guess, in color scheme. Defeated the team of Mina Shirakawa, Unagi Sayaka, and Saki to retain the Artists of Stardom title match. Any thoughts about this match, Scotty?
Really good. I liked that they actually had Momo Watanabe win instead of Saki Kashima.
Yes, yeah, I thought that was a good reestablishment almost.
With the trio that they were facing, you didn't have to do anything less than have a dominant win for either Momo or Kid. You didn't need the scary save.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it worked.
Yeah, this match didn't have to be a building up Saki Kashima. It was a reestablishment of who these people are, I guess. There was also the Captain's Fall 6-man match. Azumi, Lady C, and Utami Hayashishita defeated a team of Mayu Iwatani, Momo Kogo, and Saya Ida. Fine. Good. Pretty good. These next 4 top of the card or bottom of the card 4 matches are very much like, I feel like we can just group them all together as pretty good. Nothing outstanding, nothing terrible.
No. It was filler.
Yeah. Rest of the matches, Ami Sarai and Mirai defeated the team of Julia, Mai Sakurai, and Rina and Ruaka. Maika defeated Hina, and Hanan defeated Miyu Amasaki to retain the Future of Stardom title match. Hanan keeps doing it for that title, just unbelievable reign here.
She defended again at New Blood 4, which is this week.
Hanan, what's her number here now at this point? What's her number here at this point?
She's at
9? 9, 10? Oh, let's see.
9 or 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 defenses. 9. This would be 9. Number 9 defense, it looks like.
What's that?
I think. Actually, I don't know anymore. She's great. I love Hanan. Definitely the future. All right, so that is Stardom X Stardom. Before we go, Scotty, I just want to end the show. We welcome you back, and I think there is no better way to welcome you back than just a fun little game that I have set up for us, for you specifically. Oh God, he's dying. I mentioned the game and he immediately dies. Well, since we didn't preview any shows either, I don't want to do any real previews, so I just figured a game would be fun. Are you down for a game, Scotty? Scotty, did you cut? I think you cut. Oh no, you're there. Okay, I thought you cut out for a second there. Well, then let's do a game. Let's do a fun little game. Get some music going. Set the mood.
I don't like this.
So this game is called New or Old.
Oh, jeez.
We didn't preview any shows, but I figured it's still good to get something out there. So I have a list of 10 matches here, and you have to tell me, Scotty, if a match that I give you is an upcoming match to NWA 74 this weekend.
Fuck. Ah!
Or it's a match that has taken place on a pay-per-view for NWA in the past year.
Whoa, NWA should die. Oh my God.
The music mixed with you saying the NWA should die is probably the funniest thing that has happened on the show.
All right, here we go.
Scotty, are you ready to play?
2 nights? You say 2 nights?
2 nights.
Why? No.
NWA 74.
No.
He's getting out of his chair.
Listen, the NWA shouldn't have 1 night, let alone 2. They don't have a brand. They don't have a company to run these things. Their roster stinks. No offense to Trevor Murdoch, but hey, you know what? They have a useless sack of shit called Tyrus. He can be released. He can be sent to federal prison. As far as I'm concerned, a useless piece of shit. And you know what? This company sucks, okay? And I'm happy Dexter Lumis left them in the dust. They weren't good enough for Dexter Lumis because they fucking blow. Get on with the game!
Are you ready to play New or Old? Like you said, I'll give you a match that's either happening this weekend at NWA 74, Night 1 or Night 2, in which case you'll have the answer of new, or it's a match that took place...
Is there Flair Wrestling? It would be on brand for them.
It would be. Or it's old, which old would be a match that has taken place for the NWA in the past year. So, let's play NWA 74, New or Old. Match number 1, Trevor Murdoch versus Mike Knox for the NWA World's Heavyweight title.
Old.
I don't have a dinger of what is correct or wrong, so... Ding, 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 ding. That is correct. It is an old match.
That was for the world title?
That was a world title match. I will give you a bonus point, Scotty, if you can tell me what pay-per-view that match happened at the NWA in the past year.
This shit really sucks.
Is that the name of the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
No, it is Hard Times 2. Hard Times 2.
I'll tell you about Hard Times.
In actuality, the match is going to be Murdoch versus Tyrus for the title, and then Mike Knox versus Bully Ray in a tables match at NWA 74 this weekend.
You're kidding.
Nope. Match number 2, Colby Corino versus Caprice Coleman.
Please say new.
Ding, 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 ding. That is a new match that is happening this weekend at NWA 74.
Oh my God, this company needs to be canceled.
Match number 3, Mercurio versus Magic Jake Dumas.
I don't even know what the fuck that means, man. Like, what the fuck? What? I'm old. I don't know.
Incorrect. It is a new match. It is happening this weekend at NWA 74.
Please stop saying at NWA 74.
Next match, Camille versus Kylan King for the NWA World Women's title.
New?
Incorrect. It is an old match. I'll give you a bonus point if you can tell me what pay-per-view that match
Hard
happened.
Times!
Also incorrect. It happened at NWA Always Ready, the Matt Cardona pay-per-view, themed pay-per-view where he was injured and could not compete. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. The actual match that's happening this weekend is Camille versus Taya Valkyrie. Camille versus Taya Valkyrie. Next match, Nick Aldis versus Flip Gordon.
I know that's new.
Correct! That is new. You're at 3 points here. Nick Aldis versus Flip Gordon is happening this weekend. Are you excited about it?
I will not watch it.
Really gives me Villain Enterprises vibes. Am I right? Am I right, folks?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Remember they were feuding right before the pandemic? Remember? Anyways.
I'm shocked this company hasn't signed Marty Scurll.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think if there's any company that will bring Marty Scurll back, it is the NWA. So get ready. I don't know anything. Next one. Homicide versus Austin Aries versus Colby Corino versus Daria Lockhart for the NWA World's Junior Heavyweight title match.
What? No. Go say that again. Homicide
versus Austin Aries versus Colby Corino versus Darius Lockhart for the NWA World Junior Heavyweight title.
That's old.
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct.
Does Darius Lockhart wrestle anymore?
I don't know. I was putting this game together and I was like, whatever happened to Darius Lockhart?
He had a lot of hype coming into this year.
Yeah, he had a lot of hype, and I don't know what happened to him. I think he's a pretty good wrestler. I don't think he's that bad. I think he's good on the mic. I don't know what's happening. Anyways, I think a family member died is what I heard. But he hasn't been around since I think April or May, so I don't know what happened. I'll give you a bonus point. Can you tell me what show this past year did that four-way for the junior heavyweight title happen at? I should give you the list of pay-per-views that have happened this past year.
Like I don't know why you think I know these names.
That's a great point. I don't know why I assumed you knew what these shows were called. So you had NWA Hard Times, you have the Crockett Cup, you have Always Ready, you have I don't know why I'm saying I'm not a wrestling historian, but I know all of NWA's past shows. Said Always Ready. Crockett Cup, Empower, NWA 73. I think that's it. I think that's all of them. So Empower, 73, Crockett Cup, Always Ready, Hard Times 2. Those are your options.
Crockett Cup.
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct. Happened at the Crockett Cup. They had a tournament over television, and the title tournament ended to crown the first ever new World Junior Heavyweight Champion at Crockett Cup Night 2. The actual match that's happening this weekend is Homicide versus Kerry Morton for the World Junior Heavyweight title.
Great.
Next match. The Hex, Allison Kay and Marty Bell versus Kylan King and Red Velvet for the NWA World Women's Tag Team title.
That's old.
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct. Do you know what show that happened at?
Empower.
That is also correct. You're at 7 points out of a possible 15. So
I be cooking.
You're more than 50%. The actual match that's happening this weekend is the Hex trying to recapture their titles against Pretty Empowered. Do you know who Pretty Empowered are?
No.
Of course not. Who does? I think it's Kenzie Page and Ella Envy. Apparently, I do actually. Why do I know so much about the NWA, but I don't know what happened at All Out last year? Moving on.
I think you need to fix your preferences.
Something's wrong in my brain. Next up, Davey Richards versus Thrill Billy Silas for the MLW National title.
I don't even know what that means.
What do you mean?
I don't even know. I don't even know what that last name was.
Thrill Billy Silas. He's the Thrill Billy Silas for the MLW National Openweight title.
This has to be new.
Correct. Ding, ding, ding. That is new. That is happening this weekend. An MLW title match. Davey Richards' second defense for a title that we have not seen him win yet.
You know, I think MLW and NWA should work together to cancel
each other.
Yeah.
It's coming, I guess.
And then Jacob Fatu can go somewhere where his talents are appreciated.
What about Hammerstone? What about Richard Holiday and his girlfriend, Alicia Atut?
Then Jacob Fatu can go somewhere where he's appreciated.
Next match. We have 2 matches left, Scotty. We're almost done. Thank you. I appreciate you for doing this. Chris Adonis versus James Storm for the NWA National title. It's a thinker. It's a thinker, Scotty.
That's old.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. That isn't old. Do you know what show that happened at? You look like you're falling asleep in the chair.
Hard times.
Incorrect. It happened at NWA 73 last year, in fact. This match happened.
God, I hate this company!
The actual match that's happening this weekend is Jax Dane versus Scion.
I don't even know what that means.
For the NWA National title. Scion?
Jax Dane?
Jax Dane?
Scion?
It's basically Scion is just Robert Anthony
Where
in
the
a
fuck
mask.
do they find these people?
Indies, I guess.
No!
Well, Scion...
No, they were never on the Indies either.
Well, Scion is a masked character that is just Robert Ego Anthony in a mask. That's all it is. So, I mean, he's a good wrestler, so there's something there. And then finally, the last match here is a 10-team battle royal featuring the Fixers, Hawksari, the Ill-Begotten, the Miserably Faithful, Gold Rush, the Country Gentlemen, the Non, Rough and Ready, and 2 more teams. Is that happening this weekend, or has that already happened?
That's gotta be the greatest accomplishment of all time, that you named all those teams, and I didn't know a single one.
You're not a big fan of the Miserably Faithful? Miserably Faithful, the tag team with Sal Renaro and the Gimp guy. That's right. There's a wrestler in this company that is a Gimp, and that is their character.
New.
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct, Scotty, for 10 points out of 15 points. This has been New or Old. That match, by the way, is happening for the new NWA United States Tag Team Championships.
They have more titles.
They are introducing a new title in a battle royal.
The NWA should die.
And that is it, everybody, for Ring Post Radio. Thank you so much for joining us this week. A lot of stuff you can check us out in. We have a new episode of Ryan Hasn't Seen Anything, episode 3, that has just come out yesterday.
No, in fact. Lying to you.
I'm not lying to you. It is, in fact, on the Countout Patreon, patreon.com/countoutpod. We'll have the newest episode. Scotty, it's an oldie but a goodie. Do you want to talk about what that match was that we reviewed or watched on Ryan Hasn't Seen Anything?
Nope.
All right, then I will, because someone's got to. It was Meiko Satomura.
It was Meiko Satomura versus Akira Hokuto from Gaia Japan. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. They beat the absolute snot out of each other. The reactions that Ryan had throughout the entire match were absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best Joshi matches I've seen. Yeah. Easy 5-star classic for anyone that wants to check it out. And it's on YouTube, so it's easy for you to check it out alongside me and Ryan as we watch it, because it's a lot of fun and has one of the best finishes you will see in a wrestling match. So check it out.
I'll make it even easier and say that because it's already on YouTube and it's a super old match, no copyright strike. So I didn't blur out any of the match. It's right there. You can just watch it while we're watching it. So I think I cropped it a little bit and the image was flipped, but it's basically the same thing. If you want to watch it in full, it's also on YouTube. Anyways, so that is out. We also have 2 other episodes as well for Ryan Hasn't Seen Anything. So join the Patreon. That's on the $5 tier, the patreon.com/countoutpod. We would greatly appreciate it for you to join that tier and watch the episode number 3 of the 10 episode series. We have more on the way, of course. Scotty, anything to plug? And also, what is your match of the week?
Follow me at Scotty Wrestling. As you can tell, my sickness has caught up with me. I am on the brink of death here.
I think the sickness caught up with you, and the game brought the sickness come out more.
Yeah,
like you allowed this. You hated the game so much that you wanted to die and allow the sickness.
It's all about the game and how you play it.
Johnny Gargano style. What's your match of the week?
Well, out of all the matches we didn't talk about that happened in the last week.
Not necessarily. Remember we resolved that rule a little bit?
Nope.
You don't remember, or you don't abide by the non-rule?
Exactly.
He is the CEO of Bitch
I'm
Enterprises.
staying truthful to my word, and I will say Bryan Danielson versus Red to Death Daniel Garcia. Best 2 out of 3 falls from AEW Dynamite. Just an absolutely fantastic match. Bryan Danielson, pretty good.
I will also pick a match from the same show, the main event. Kenny Omega, Matt and Nick Jackson. Kenny Omega returns versus Andrade.
Are you telling me
Bush,
you're not picking Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn versus Brian Pillman Jr. and Jeff Garrison?
I was thinking about it. But ultimately I decided I might. It was either that or Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez. I think those were the 2 options, but I decided for the trios main event, the return of the one and only Kenny Omega. I felt that might be the return is what really brought it over the edge for me, not the match. So, it's. I feel the battle cry. You can follow me on Twitter at Ryan Neitzey. You can, of course, follow Scotty at Scott E Wrestling. I think he's dead. You can follow the whole show at CountOutPod. Of course, subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/CountOutPod. To get that $5 tier, you get the Ryan Hasn't Seen Anything.
The best show.
Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. We'll be back on Sunday for all new episode. I believe that's all the plugs. If not, we'll see you then. Bye.